The glass tower stood in the center of the city like a quiet ruler watching everything below. Inside the building, people walked fast, holding files and phones, acting busy and serious. The air felt clean and cold, filled with soft sounds of steps and machines. This place was built for power, decisions, and control. Every floor carried a different kind of pressure. On the top floor, a long boardroom waited with dark wood walls and a shining table. Chairs were placed neatly, and screens glowed with charts and numbers. Sunlight entered through wide windows, making everything look calm. But behind that calm, tension slowly gathered. This room had seen many silent battles before. Maya sat near the center of the table, calm on the outside, alert on the inside. She wore a simple suit and kept her hands steady on the table. Her face showed focus, but her mind stayed sharp and ready. She had earned her seat through years of hard work. Still, she knew this room did not forgive mistakes easily. The board members entered one by one, greeting each other with polite smiles. Their voices were smooth, but their eyes measured everything. Each person took a seat like a chess move. Maya noticed how some avoided her gaze. That made her uneasy, though she stayed composed. The meeting started with soft words about progress and vision. Charts appeared on the screen, and numbers were explained calmly. Heads nodded as if everyone agreed. Maya shared her report with confidence and clear logic. For a moment, the room felt balanced. Slowly, the mood changed without warning. One man cleared his throat and questioned her choices. His voice was polite, but the meaning felt sharp. Another added a comment that sounded helpful but carried doubt. Maya sensed the shift and straightened her back. She responded with facts and steady words. Her voice stayed calm, and her eyes did not lower. She explained her decisions clearly, step by step. Some listened, others watched silently. The pressure began to rise like invisible weight. Across town, Ryan stood in a small kitchen helping his daughter pack her school bag. He checked her homework and smiled softly. His movements were careful and calm, shaped by years of discipline. To the world, he was just a quiet single father. His past stayed hidden behind simple routines. Ryan walked his daughter to the door and watched her leave with friends. He stood for a moment, breathing slowly. Life had taught him to value peace above noise. Yet, something inside him always stayed alert. Old habits never fully fade. He drove toward the city for a planned lunch meeting with Maya. Traffic moved slowly, giving him time to think. He trusted Maya and respected her strength. She had once helped him during a hard time without asking anything back. That bond mattered to him. When Ryan reached the building, he noticed security guards standing closer than usual. Their posture felt stiff, not relaxed. He paused before entering, scanning the area quietly. His instincts whispered that something was not right. Back in the boardroom, the questions grew more direct. One member spoke about leadership suitability. Another hinted that Maya lacked the right background. Their words sounded professional but carried a clear message. Maya felt the room closing around her. She defended herself with calm strength. Her hands stayed still, her voice firm. Inside, her heart beat faster, but she did not show it. She knew backing down would only invite more pressure. Respect had to be claimed here. One man leaned forward, placing his hands on the table. His chair scraped the floor as he stood slightly. He spoke about authority and control, stepping closer to Maya. The space between them felt wrong and heavy. Maya pushed her chair back a little, creating distance. Her eyes stayed locked on his face. She refused to look small or weak. Still, the moment felt unsafe, even if no one said it aloud. Ryan entered the lobby and felt the cold air hit his face. The sound of voices echoed faintly from above. He looked toward the elevators, his body already responding. Calm steps carried him forward without hesitation. Inside the elevator, Ryan stood straight, hands relaxed by his side. His reflection showed a quiet man with focused eyes. Memories of training and teamwork rested deep inside him. He had promised himself never to seek conflict. But he also promised to protect those who mattered. The elevator doors opened on the top floor with a soft sound. Ryan walked down the hallway, each step controlled and silent. The sound of raised voices grew clearer. His jaw tightened slightly, but his breathing stayed steady. In the boardroom, the tension peaked. The standing man spoke again, louder this time. His words crossed from questioning into control. Maya felt anger rise but held it back. She stayed seated, ready to respond. The door opened quietly. Ryan stepped inside without rushing. His presence changed the air instantly. He stood between Maya and the table, tall and calm. His voice was steady and clear as he spoke. "Hands off the lady." Silence filled the room. Every face turned toward him. Maya looked up in surprise, her eyes meeting his. The board members froze, unsure how to react. The balance of the room shifted in a single moment. Ryan stood firm, unmoving, like a wall. And everyone sensed that this was only the beginning. The room stayed silent for several seconds after Ryan spoke. No one moved, and even the screens on the wall seemed frozen. The man who had been standing slowly straightened his posture. His face showed surprise mixed with irritation. Maya felt a sudden wave of relief, but kept her expression calm. One board member cleared his throat and tried to speak. His voice sounded uncertain now, not confident like before. He asked who Ryan was and why he had entered a private meeting. Ryan did not raise his voice or change his stance. He simply looked around the room with steady eyes. Ryan introduced himself in a calm tone. He said he was a guest of Maya and that he sensed something was wrong. His words were simple but firm. He did not accuse anyone directly. Yet every person in the room felt seen and measured. The chairman shifted in his seat and folded his hands. He tried to bring the meeting back under control. He said emotions were running high and suggested everyone take a breath. His voice carried authority, but it lacked confidence. The balance had already changed. Maya slowly stood up from her chair. She thanked Ryan quietly with a brief look. Then she faced the board with renewed strength. She spoke about respect and fairness. Her voice stayed steady, but her words carried weight. She explained that she was invited for a discussion, not a trial. She reminded them of her results and contributions. Each sentence landed clearly in the room. No one interrupted her this time. Even those who had spoken earlier listened in silence. Ryan stepped back slightly, giving Maya space. He remained alert, watching body language and small movements. Years of experience had trained him to read rooms like this. Nothing aggressive happened, but tension still hung in the air. He stayed ready without showing it. One board member attempted to shift blame. He said the discussion was misunderstood. Another nodded quickly in agreement. Their voices sounded defensive now. Maya listened without reacting too quickly. She responded by asking simple questions. She asked why her leadership was suddenly doubted. She asked why concerns were not raised earlier. Her questions were calm and direct. The board struggled to answer clearly. The chairman finally called for a short break. Chairs moved, and people stood up slowly. Some avoided eye contact with Maya. Others whispered among themselves. The confident energy from earlier had faded. Ryan and Maya stepped into the hallway together. The hallway felt quieter and brighter than the room behind them. Maya let out a slow breath she had been holding. She thanked Ryan again, this time with emotion. Her hands trembled slightly before she steadied them. Ryan nodded and told her she handled herself well. He reminded her that strength did not always need noise. His voice stayed calm, almost gentle. Maya smiled faintly, feeling supported. That support meant more than she expected. As they stood there, two board members exited the room and walked past them. Their faces showed discomfort and unease. Neither spoke. Ryan watched them carefully until they disappeared down the hall. Only then did he relax his shoulders slightly. The break ended, and the meeting resumed. This time, The tone was different from the start. The questions focused on data and plans, not personal judgment. Maya noticed the shift immediately. She answered with clarity and confidence. Ryan chose to sit near the door, silent and observant. He did not interfere or speak again. His presence alone seemed to keep the room balanced. The board members stayed professional, careful with their words. The chairman eventually thanked Maya for her patience. He acknowledged her work and suggested moving forward with her proposal. The decision was not final, but the attack had failed. Maya felt a quiet victory inside her chest. When the meeting ended, people gathered their papers without conversation. The energy was drained, replaced by formality. Maya packed her bag calmly. Ryan waited without rushing her. They left the boardroom together. Outside the building, the city noise returned. Cars moved, people talked, and life continued as usual. Maya paused near the entrance and looked up at the sky. The tension slowly faded from her shoulders. She felt tired but proud. Ryan suggested getting coffee instead of lunch. Maya agreed, needing something simple and grounding. They walked together down the street. The silence between them felt comfortable. No explanations were needed. At the cafe, they sat by the window. Maya finally allowed herself to relax. She admitted that the meeting had been planned against her. Ryan listened without interrupting. His eyes stayed focused and calm. He told her that people often fear strength they cannot control. He reminded her that standing firm had changed the outcome. Maya nodded, understanding his words deeply. She felt grateful she was not alone in that moment. As they talked, Maya noticed how carefully Ryan watched the room. He always chose seats with clear views. His movements stayed measured. She realized how much discipline he carried quietly. It explained why his presence felt so grounding. Ryan spoke briefly about his past without details. He said he learned long ago that silence could be powerful. Maya respected his choice not to share more. Trust did not require full stories. It only needed honesty. When they finished their coffee, Maya stood taller than before. The fear from earlier had turned into clarity. She knew challenges were not over, but she also knew she could face them. Ryan walked her back toward her office. Before they parted, Maya thanked him once more. She said his timing changed everything. Ryan simply smiled and said she had already done the hard part herself. They exchanged a quiet nod before going their separate ways. As Ryan walked away, he felt the familiar calm return. He had stepped in when it mattered and stepped back when it was done. That balance defined who he had become. The day was far from over, but the path ahead felt clear. The next morning, the city woke under soft light and steady movement. News of the board meeting had not spread publicly, but inside the company, things felt different. People walked with more caution and less noise. Decisions were being reconsidered quietly. Power was shifting without announcements. Maya arrived early at her office and sat by the window. She reviewed reports with calm focus. The fear from the earlier meeting no longer controlled her thoughts. In its place stood clarity and purpose. She understood now that confidence had to be protected as carefully as it was earned. Messages began arriving from team leaders across departments. They expressed support and trust in her leadership. Some thanked her for standing firm. Maya read each message slowly, feeling a strong sense of responsibility. Her role was larger than herself. Across town, Ryan prepared breakfast for his daughter before school. He moved through the kitchen with ease and care. The events of the previous day stayed in his mind, but they did not trouble him. He believed in acting when needed, then returning to normal life. As his daughter left for school, Ryan felt a quiet pride. He wanted her to grow up seeing calm strength, not loud control. That belief guided every choice he made. He cleaned the kitchen and sat for a moment in silence. Peace mattered. Later that day, Maya was called into a smaller meeting room. This time, the chairman and 2 senior members were present. The room felt different from before. No tension hung in the air. Instead, there was seriousness and reflection. The chairman spoke honestly. He admitted the previous meeting had crossed boundaries. He said the company could not afford internal conflict driven by fear. His words were measured and direct. Maya listened carefully without interrupting. They confirmed her position and approved her strategy plan. Trust was formally restored. Maya felt relief but did not celebrate openly. She thanked them and expressed her commitment to fair leadership. The meeting ended with mutual respect. When Maya returned to her office, she stood still for a moment. The journey had not been easy. She knew more challenges would come. But she also knew she had proven her strength without losing herself. That mattered most. She sent a brief message to Ryan, thanking him again. He replied later with a simple note of encouragement. No long words were needed. Their understanding was clear and solid. That evening, Ryan attended a school event for his daughter. He sat among other parents, listening and smiling quietly. Life continued in small, meaningful moments. He preferred these simple joys over recognition. Maya spent the evening reviewing future plans. She adjusted timelines and strengthened team communication. Leadership required steady effort, not sudden force. She worked late but felt energized rather than drained. Days passed, and the company atmosphere slowly improved. Teams collaborated more openly. Decisions became more transparent. Maya led with balance, firmness, and care. Her presence set a new tone. Ryan continued his daily routines, helping neighbors when needed, staying observant but calm. He never spoke about the boardroom incident. To him, it was simply a moment where action mattered. Nothing more. One afternoon, Maya invited Ryan to a small team celebration. It was informal and quiet. Ryan attended briefly, staying in the background. People sensed his calm nature without knowing his story. Maya introduced him only as a friend. She did not need to explain more. Respect grew naturally. The evening ended with shared smiles and light conversation. As the sun set over the city, both Maya and Ryan returned to their separate lives. Each carried lessons from the experience. Courage, when paired with calm, created lasting change. The boardroom no longer felt like a place of threat to Maya. It became a space of responsibility and growth. Ryan returned fully to being a father, protector, and quiet presence. Their paths had crossed for a reason. The story did not end with applause or attention. It ended with balance restored and respect earned. Sometimes, the strongest moments are the ones that leave no noise behind. The following week, the office felt lighter. People moved with purpose but without the tension that had lingered before. Maya arrived early each morning and greeted her team warmly. She made a point to listen to each person, valuing their input. Her calm presence created a sense of trust. Staff began sharing ideas freely, and productivity quietly improved. Ryan, meanwhile, kept his routine steady. He walked his daughter to school, helped with homework, and spent quiet evenings preparing simple dinners. Life at home felt safe and normal, though he remained alert. His past as a SEAL shaped his instincts, but he rarely needed to use them. Still, he remained ready for moments when action mattered. One afternoon, Maya discovered a small problem in a key department. A team member had misunderstood part of the strategy, and work had slowed. She called the staff together calmly. Instead of blaming anyone, she asked questions and guided them through solutions. Her tone was firm yet encouraging. The employees responded with focus and respect. Ryan received a call from Maya that evening. She wanted his advice on a potential issue she sensed might develop in a high-level meeting. He listened carefully and gave short, practical guidance. Maya appreciated his perspective. His calm analysis reminded her to trust her instincts and act decisively when needed. Over the next few days, Maya implemented small changes. She encouraged transparency, clear communication, and accountability. Team members began supporting each other more. The atmosphere shifted from fear and hesitation to confidence and collaboration. Maya realized leadership was about balance, not domination. Ryan noticed subtle changes in Maya when they met for lunch one day. She walked with her head held high, spoke clearly, and handled questions with ease. He smiled quietly, understanding that she had grown stronger through the challenges she had faced. She no longer needed him to intervene, but his presence had made a difference. Meanwhile, the boardroom that had felt threatening was transforming. Meetings became focused on ideas rather than personalities. Maya's influence spread slowly but surely. Her fairness and calm judgment earned respect from even the most skeptical board members. Her reputation as a strong, composed leader began to grow naturally. Ryan returned home after dropping his daughter at school. He checked the neighborhood quietly, greeted neighbors, and maintained his usual calm demeanor. Though his life seemed simple, he remained prepared for the unexpected. His focus on protection and readiness carried over silently into his daily actions. One evening, Maya organized a small gathering to celebrate a successful project completion. She invited her closest team members and Ryan. The room was filled with soft laughter and conversation. Ryan stayed on the side, observing quietly while Maya engaged openly with her team. Her leadership felt secure, and her team responded with genuine warmth. During the gathering, Maya took a moment to speak privately with Ryan. She thanked him sincerely for stepping in when it mattered most. She explained that his calm courage had given her the strength to stand firm. Ryan nodded, saying that she had earned the respect through her actions. No words needed to be louder than truth. As the night went on, employees shared stories of challenges and victories. Maya listened with patience and attention, guiding the conversation to learning and growth. Ryan stayed present but unobtrusive. His quiet strength provided reassurance without needing recognition. The days turned into weeks, and the company continued to stabilize. Maya's leadership style became a model for others. Decisions were made with clarity, and conflicts were handled calmly. She learned that influence was strongest when paired with empathy and steady confidence. Ryan's routine remained unchanged. He spent mornings with his daughter, afternoons observing the city quietly, and evenings preparing meals and reviewing plans. Life was simple, but every action had purpose. His calm vigilance ensured safety for those he cared about without creating alarm. Maya continued to reach out to Ryan for guidance on subtle challenges. She valued his perspective on strategy and people, knowing he could read situations clearly. Their friendship strengthened, rooted in mutual respect and trust. It was not a relationship built on words but on actions and understanding. One afternoon, an unexpected visitor came to Maya's office. A senior board member who had previously questioned her decisions arrived. His tone was different this time. He expressed admiration for her handling of past challenges and her growth as a leader. Maya acknowledged his words calmly, understanding that respect often came slowly. Ryan noticed Maya's composure when she shared the visit with him later. She spoke with measured confidence, neither boasting nor apologizing. Her ability to remain grounded inspired him as much as her strength had earlier inspired the boardroom. Life continued with steady routine. Maya balanced strategy, meetings, and mentoring her team. Ryan balanced work, parenting, and readiness. Both knew the past could surface if needed, but they were strong in their own ways. Their experiences taught them that courage often appeared quietly, without noise. One evening, Maya reflected on the events of the past weeks. She realized that leadership was not about confrontation but clarity. She had faced attempts to intimidate her and had responded with calm decisiveness. That calm had created change. She understood that strength was measured by action, not volume. Ryan prepared dinner while his daughter did homework. He paused occasionally to watch the city lights flicker outside the window. Life was predictable yet full of small moments of satisfaction. Protecting and supporting those who mattered remained his focus. His experience and discipline shaped every choice without dominating his life. Maya and Ryan met occasionally for quiet meals or short walks. Their conversations were simple but meaningful. They shared observations, strategies, and encouragement. Neither needed to explain more than necessary. Trust and respect were already understood between them. As weeks turned into months, the company thrived under Maya's steady guidance. Employees collaborated more effectively, and projects moved smoothly. Ryan continued to live his quiet life, observing, guiding, and protecting when necessary. Their worlds had intersected meaningfully and then allowed each to continue growing. The story of the boardroom ambush became a memory, not a headline. Its lessons remained in the minds of those involved. Maya had gained strength, confidence, and recognition. Ryan had once again confirmed the value of calm courage. In the end, life returned to its rhythm. Maya led with clarity and fairness. Ryan maintained his quiet vigilance and family focus. Both understood that moments of challenge revealed true character. Strength, patience, and calm action were more powerful than any shout or display. The city moved on around them, full of noise and activity. Yet in small offices, apartments, and quiet streets, courage and respect quietly shaped lives. Maya and Ryan knew the power of steady presence. They had acted when necessary, and balance had been restored.